I worked with the inventor of the business model canvas, Alex Osterwalder, and I've helped over 1,000 teams apply it. What I've learned is that the business model canvas doesn't work unless you fix these three things that no one's talking about. The first mistake that you're making relates to communication. You're talking the same way that Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle did, and it's called argument. This is where you have an idea, and I have an idea, and then we bash heads until one of those ideas wins. This takes a really long time. It was okay for those philosophers because they were rich and they had all afternoon. They had nothing better to do. But we've got lots of work to get on with. This isn't going to work for us. That's why Edward de Bono developed this concept called parallel thinking. The way that it works is that instead of staying on my side, I come over to your side with you, and then we look at the idea together. Then once we've seen it from your perspective, then we move over and we both look at the situation from my perspective. That means we get to see both sides and we can do it quickly and get all the different perspectives. What this approach does is it makes sure that the best idea wins. Because in argument, what typically happens is whoever's better at arguing wins, even if their idea isn't the best one. Think of it like this. Have you ever had some ideas and then shared them with a friend or a family member, and then that friend or family member immediately shoot them down and say, "Oh, that's never gonna work. Oh, that's never gonna work." How did that feel? Did it feel frustrating? Probably. Did it help you come up with more ideas? No, not really. However, have you ever tried sharing ideas with somebody who went, "Wow, yeah, that's amazing," and then went, "Oh, what about this?" And then you went, yeah, what about this?" You were both looking at things from the same perspective. You were both being creative. This is a much more effective way to run meetings and workshops, and you'll get much more success from using the business model canvas with your team when you use parallel thinking. I've made a whole video on parallel thinking and the 6 thinking hats, and you can watch that by clicking here. The second mistake that you're making relates to levels of granularity. What you have at the top here is high-level thinking, and then at the bottom, you've got more detail-oriented or implementation-type thinking. Both of them are important, and they exist on this type of scale. We can apply the argument and parallel thinking concepts to this as well. If you're having a conversation and some people are thinking about it from a higher perspective, a high level, and you've got others who are thinking about it from a more detail-oriented perspective, this is going to cause problems because there's going to be friction. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're doing parallel thinking, where everyone is thinking high level at the same time, and later on, everyone's thinking about details at the same time. Don't mix, because if you mix them, it's going to take much longer for you to actually finish your workshop. Let me give you a specific example. I was working with a startup that was really struggling to fill in their canvas. So what I did was I showed them this idea of high-level versus detail-oriented thinking, and I also drew out these 3 mountains, because what they explained to me was that the founders were looking to get their next €1 million investment and ultimately wanted to get to 100 million euros in revenue. But the team realized that they just sold a 20K project to a company that they needed to complete. And they were just thinking about that. And while they were trying to talk about that issue, the founders were trying to talk about raising more money and hitting their long-term goals. And so there was this kind of friction in the team, and no one was really listening to each other. So what I did was I drew this picture, this diagram, where I showed them 3 mountains. 1, 2, 3. What I said was that the founders are up here in a hot air balloon. They can see all 3 mountains, but they're really focused on the 2nd and 3rd mountain, and they really want to get to here. But their team was all the way down here. And the team, what they were concentrating on was actually just looking at the next footstep. They couldn't even see the top of this mountain. They were just looking at what they were trying to do next to be able to deliver the project on time. And so by showing them this really helped them understand that, hold on, what conversation are we having right now? We need to make sure that everybody's talking about this first mountain because that needs to be done in the next month. Then what we can do is talk about the second mountain and third mountain and create plans for those. But when you try to do all three of those things together, it's very frustrating and you don't get anywhere. The third mistake that you're making is you're mixing up these two concepts of explore versus exploit. This again lives on a continuum. All successful companies are able to exploit their existing business model while searching for a new business model. And this startup was absolutely doing that too, because they just sold a 20K project and the team were focused on exploiting that, delivering that. And then you had the founders who were searching for the new business model that was going to get them to $100 million. But the mindset that you need in exploit is very different from the mindset you need in explore. In exploit, it's all about execution. It's about hitting your KPIs and making sure that you're on time and on budget with zero failure. In explore, it's very different. You don't know if what you're doing is going to work because you're trying new things out. So you need to test stuff and then learn, and then you can try something else. But here you have to have a tolerance for failure because not everything's going to work out. Same as with the high level versus the detail-oriented thinking, you want to avoid having a conversation where some of your team members have their exploit hats on and others have their explore hats on, because you're going to get friction. It's going to be like a meeting with Plato, Socrates and Aristotle, taking all afternoon, getting nowhere and sounding like blah, 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 blah. And afterwards, people are going to say, what just happened? That was a waste of time. Business model canvas doesn't work. But what you need to do is use the parallel thinking that Edward de Bono invented so that we can make sure we're having a meeting where we're only talking about explore or we're only talking about exploit. If you mix the two, you'll get nowhere. That's why you need a really strong facilitator who can make sure that everyone knows before the meeting what is the purpose of the meeting and what type of thinking are we going to be using, explore or exploit or both. If we're using both, some of the meeting has to be dedicated to explore and some of it has to be dedicated to exploit. And if you do that, you'll get the most out of the business model canvas and your workshops. Something I shared with the startup that really helped was this idea of goalposts. Imagine that your team is about to kick a penalty and the ball's here. They're about to do a run up. And they kick the ball, and it's just about to go right here in the top left-hand corner. And then the two founders, just before the goal's about to go in the corner, they move the goalposts. So instead of the team kicking the ball and getting it in that left-hand corner of the goal, it actually goes out. Your team would be absolutely fuming. But that's exactly what the founders were doing, and with good reason. Because what is the definition of a startup? It's an organization that's in search of a successful business model that it can repeat again and again and again. So the founders should be going out, speaking to customers and seeing what they think of the product. So as they have conversations with their customers, they should be learning, going back to the team and then adapting the product and adapting the plan. But what that feels like to the team is that the goalposts are being moved. So if they don't understand the difference between explore and exploit, and they don't understand that the goalposts have to move because that's the nature of what you're doing right now, they're going to be frustrated. So explaining to them the explore-exploit concept is really powerful, and showing them how, yeah, the goalposts are moving, but it's important and that's normal, helps everyone feel more relaxed, and it helps them plan better. If you facilitate your workshops carefully and you use these three concepts of parallel thinking, levels of granularity, and explore versus exploit, then you'll be able to get the most out of your team and the business model canvas. Now you know how to communicate more effectively in your business model canvas workshop. You should watch this video next, where I share 10 business model canvas examples of successful companies like Monzo and Duolingo, so you can take inspiration from them and apply them to your own canvas. See you in the next one.